Hey everybody, and welcome to this video. This is going to be a full face of XXREVOLUTION makeup. So basically it is a brand new makeup brand from Makeup Revolution. They have a bunch of different like sister brands under like the whole Revolution brand itself, and this is their newest addition to it. So I got a full face of products here. This is the look that I came up with, so if you guys want to see how I did and how we rocked it, because trust me, it took a little bit of finessing, I'm not gonna lie. So if you're interested in seeing how these products worked and my thoughts on them, then just go ahead and keep on watching. Alright, so let's go ahead and get started, and I think I want to do the primers first. And so I have a few different primers. This one's actually from Makeup Revolution, but I wanted to get it. It's their glass skin primer, and it's been sold out on Ulta, so I was like, since I was putting in an order, I figured I would just get that real quick. Okay, I actually got two like regular Makeup Revolution primers. We're not going to use those today. So I have this quick fix mattifying primer, and then I also have the second skin primer, and this kind of looks like the Tatcha primer, and it even comes with like the little spoon and everything. So I think I'm gonna try both of those primers actually. So I'll start off with the quick fix mattifying primer, and this is a universal tone, and it's supposed to reduce shine and smooth skin whilst holding makeup in place. So it just looks like this. It's like a balmy kind of consistency, really thin. It has like a, what smell is that? It doesn't smell bad, but it's not like fruity or anything. It has like a specific smell. Like, what does that remind me of? I don't know. But it really did smooth out my skin. My skin feels nice and smooth. I like that. Now I'm going to go in with the second skin primer. Like I said, this reminds me of like the Tatcha primer just from the looks of it. This packaging is so cute. I don't know if you'll really be able to see it because my lights are a little bit blown out, but it comes with like the little scooper, and it's like actually like a metal, like pretty, you know, decent scooper. This is what it looks like on this scooper. Maybe you can see it better. And wow, that little bit, I didn't even use all of it, and that little tiny bit already went pretty far. So this one I'm just going to use on my T-zone where I have larger pores and texture, just to smooth it out. So that primer definitely leaves like a tint on your skin, definitely like lightened my skin. It definitely smoothed out my pores though. Just need a tiny bit for sure. Like that scoop that I did was like way too much for my T-zone. So you definitely, I feel like this is gonna go a super long way. Also, I don't remember like all the prices off the top of my head, so I'll definitely put them on the screen, but it is kind of like a mid-tone kind of like price range, so it's not really cheap, but it's not like super expensive. It's kind of in like the like I want to say like maybe $15 to like $30 range, like around there. So it's not like super cheap, but it's also not like super expensive either. So I think it would definitely be, you know, in the drugstore section of Ulta, but it would be up there with like NYX prices, how NYX is like starting to get a little bit more expensive and stuff like that. So it's definitely not like a high end, but it's not like super cheap like Revolution, like Makeup Revolution is a little bit on the cheaper end. This is like a little bit more expensive. So because I don't know like how the, actually let's do the brows now. So I have this brow pencil. It is their XX Fine Brow Pencil, and mine is in the shade Deep Auburn, and it has a pretty good weight to it. It's not like super cheap plasticky, but it's not like super heavy. Like I think the what is it, Makeup Obsession one is like a little bit heavier than this, but it definitely does have like a pretty good weight to it, so just bear that in mind. Oh, it's really smooth, very creamy. It's like a lot, like I feel like the tip made it look like it was going to be super hard, but it's a lot creamier and softer than I expected it to be. And I've been getting more Auburn shades just because my hair has a little bit more of like a reddish brown tint to it. So this might be a little bit light for my hair. This is a really nice pencil. I like how it's like not too creamy, but not like too hard either. I feel like it's a really nice in between, like kind of perfect formula, and it gives you really good, you know, color payoff. It really fills in the brows really nicely. I like it. So I'm gonna go ahead and finish off my brows real quick, and then we will set it using their brow setter. Now I'm gonna go ahead and clean up the brows with their concealer. This is also the concealer we're gonna be using on the face. I'm a little skeptical because it looks like more peachy than the actual foundation, so I don't know if it's gonna like match with the foundation really well, but we'll get to that when we get to it. I got the shade CX 10.2. This is what the applicator looks like. Very cool. It looks like literally like a foot, like a literal foot. And again, the color does look a little bit more on like the peachy side, but I'm just gonna have to work with it because this is the only shade that I got. That concealer actually like matches my skin tone pretty well. I'm gonna take whatever I have left over on my hand, and I'm actually gonna use that to kind of spot conceal. I have a couple of breakouts, and I have like a scratch over here on my face. And then lastly, for my brows, I do have their brow gel, and I just got the shade Clear, and this is like such cute packaging. I think their packaging is so cute. It has like a little teeny tiny brush. Let's see. It's a very liquid consistency. It's not like super thick or anything. Then that's the brows, my XXREVOLUTION brows. And now we can go into the eyes because I want to do the shadows first, just because I don't know if it's going to have a lot of fallout or anything like that. So we're going to start off with the, sorry, I feel like I'm like sinking down into my chair. Yeah, so I'm going to start off with their eye primer, and this is just the basic shade. I can't remember if they had more than one shade, but if they did, I got basic. It's basically the same packaging as the concealer, except it just has a silver lid, and the packaging on the concealer has like a black kind of lid. So definitely want to keep them separate because they look very similar. Same doe foot and everything. The only thing about this doe foot is a little bit hard to like, it doesn't like go in and out smoothly. Like you kind of have to tug on it a little bit to get it out. There doesn't seem to be like a ton of coverage on the primer. Although for me, I use eye primers more so just to kind of like help stop my oil production on my eyelids. I don't really use it to cover like any veins or anything, so it's not that big of a deal for me if there's not that much coverage. But if you're looking for like a covering primer, this one might not be for you. And I am just gonna set it with a little bit of powder, and I have this like translucent mattifying powder right here from them, so I'm just gonna tap into that and set the primer, just so we don't have any like issues with the shadows from having wet primer. And for shadows, I ended up getting their XXREVOLUTION eyeshadow palette. They had a couple of different ones, and then they also had like eyeshadow quads, but I'm pretty sure all of like the little quads were sold out, so I had to get one of the bigger shadow palettes. This is so nice. It's like a nice velvet kind of packaging. I think it looks really, really pretty. They have a couple of different variations, but I just got one that I figured I would use the most. None of them really like knocked my socks off, where I was like, oh my gosh, I have to have it. But for the sake of the video, I wanted to get an eyeshadow palette just to test out the quality and stuff like that. So this was the one that kind of stood out the most to me, that I figured I'd probably get the most use out of. But you know, none of them really were like anything super crazy. So I'm just gonna do a really basic eye look. So I think I'm gonna start off with this shade down at the bottom. There's no shade names, it's just the 5th one on the last row, and I'm gonna use that as my base color for the crease. The shadow itself is a little bit powdery. It does have, you know, an okay pigmentation. There is a little bit of kickback in the pan, and then just on the eye it does look just a little powdery, but it's not like the worst. Alright, and then right over that I'm going to go in with the first shade on the 2nd row, the more like orangey shade. I'm going to place that in like the outer corner and up into the crease. You know what, I actually think I might do like a halo eye actually, so let me take that also into the inner corner as well. And this shade has a little bit more pigmentation to it. I like this shade. It's a little less powdery and a little bit more pigmented. Again, with this shadow there is quite a bit of like kickback in the pan, so if that's an issue for you, just so you know. But I mean, they seem to be blending out really nicely. Now I'm going to go in with a little bit more of a precise brush, and I'm going to take that very first shade at the bottom corner, like that purpley shade. And I'm just going to deepen the inner and outer corners. Then I'm going to take a really tiny like pencil brush and take the shade right next to that, like the more vibrant purpley color, and place that like right on the edges of where like those darker colors are. I don't know, is that making any sense what I'm saying? Just to bring a little bit of color into it. And then on the very center, I'm going to take the 3rd shade on the top, that like really pretty like violet kind of shade. Just pop that right in the center. I'm gonna take a little bit of a setting spray and spray my brush and just see what that does. Yeah, that just makes it look a little bit more foiled, like I figured. And then I'm gonna go back into that like purpley vibrant shade, help that blend. And then I'm just going to take the very last shade in the first row as my brow bone highlight. Ooh, it's a lot lighter than I thought it was going to be. Now I'm going to, I don't have a mascara or anything, so I'm just going to go off really quickly and put on some lashes and mascara, and then we'll come back and move on to the face. Alright, I'm back, and this is what the eyes are looking like with the lashes on and everything. So let's move on to the face, which I'm really excited about because I've seen some people try out this foundation and it just looks really, really good. I'm hoping I got the right shade. I got the shade FX 10.2. And this is their it's just like their matte foundation, but I don't know like the exact name because it's not on the bottle, but it is like the matte version. So yeah, and the packaging looks really, really nice. There is 0.91 fluid ounces, so it's just a little bit under 1 fluid ounce, which is typically standard for like a liquid foundation. This is a really nice package. It's like a glass frosted bottle and a nice silver pump, and it just looks so cute. I'm here for the packaging. I'm hoping again that this is not too off. Oh, the color actually looks like it might work. It's a little bit like peachy, but it's okay. Ooh. Yeah, that's looking real, a little too pale. Yeah, I think I might mix a little bit of my yellow pigment from LA Girl. See if that might help a little bit. Hopefully. I mean, it's still pale. Oh wow, very pale. But I have like bronzer and stuff, so hopefully we can bring it back to life. Yikes. Oh my gosh, I look crazy, especially on camera. It looks like so much worse. Oh my goodness. Yikes. Bring it down my neck. Okay, so aside from the fact that this is definitely the wrong color, like very wrong color, the amount that I used, like I didn't even use all of it on my hand, and I feel like I pretty much got my full face from, what was that, like 1.5 pumps. And it's pretty good coverage. There is like over here on this side, I feel like it's not really smoothing over my like pores on my face or like my little acne scarring. It kind of sinks into it a little bit. It isn't fun. This is looking so bad. Oh my gosh. Just the color is just so bad. Let's go in with some of that concealer. And again, I think the concealer is going to be darker than the actual foundation, which is so fun. Picking colors online is so hard. It's so hard. Like, oh my gosh, I look like I'm doing white face. What is happening? I mean, aside from the color, I think that it looks good, like the foundation and concealer combo. Like if I had my right shades, I feel like I would be satisfied, but I don't. I'm gonna set my concealer. This is the Lustre setting powder in the shade, or I think the shade is Lustre, I don't know. It's just their like setting powder. It comes with like a little puff, and then you open it like that, and it has like a little bouncy net. These are not my favorite type of packaging. I'm not really a fan of like the net packaging. I feel like it takes so much effort to get the powder out. Oh wow. Okay, what the heck? That is definitely not for under eyes. That has like a shimmer to it. Oh my goodness. Oh no. Alright, let me go in with just my regular. I'm gonna take the Laura Mercier powder because that is not an under eye powder. Okay, I have this bronzer in the shade Chaos, which looks really, really nice, but I want to try to like fix my face first. So I'm just gonna take my Sephora Micro Smooth powder in the shade Tan because I really don't want to like ruin this look by being so ghostly pale. See if I can get some color on my face. Maybe a little bit of something. Look a lot worse on screen than it does in real life. I mean, I'm definitely pale in real life, but I'm not like as pale as it looks like on the camera. But now I'm gonna use their bronzer again. This is the bronzer. And they don't have like the actual names on here. They just say like what it is. So this is the bronzer in the shade Chaos. Looks pigmented. And we are definitely going to go heavy with the bronzer. Okay. I like that bronzer. It's not bad. I like that color too. Like the shade is really nice. Now I'm going to go in with the blush, and I have actually 3 different shades just because I could not choose. They all looked really, really pretty. So I have this first one in the shade Abundance, which is like a nice corally shade. That's really, really pretty. I have one in the shade Cliche, which is like a more like hot orange kind of shade. Again, really, really pretty. And then the last one that I got was Retro, which is like a really like orange. This is more like a burnt orange. And then this is more like, compared to those, it's like more of a mauve. So these are the blushes that I got. Actually, did I get another one? I think I actually have one more. Yeah, and then I also have the shade Vision, which is like really a mauve. So these are the 4 colors. I feel like I should go in with Abundance, but let's go in with Cliche just because why not? A little bit. And it's definitely pigmented, even with that little tiny bit. Goodness gracious. Pigment. And then I think I might take a little bit of Abundance over top of that. Just because why not? Let's bring some color to our face because our face needs some color. That's a lot of color. Let's blend that out. Now I'm going to set my face, and I'm going to use the Pore Fixx No More Shine Oil Control Mattifying Fixing Spray. Alright, and then I'm going to go ahead and highlight my face, and I got this highlighter in the shade Frequency, and wow, does that look baked. That looks crazy. That's glittery. Oh yeah, that is definitely an in-your-face like highlighter. It might be a little bit too deep for my skin tone right now. Maybe when I'm more tan. Yeah. Look at that. Oh no. Maybe when I'm more tan it might be a little bit better. I didn't know it was going to be like that deep. Let me spray my sponge and try to blend it out a little bit. Definitely a little bit too deep for my skin tone now, but it's okay. Let's go ahead and finish our eyes up. I'm gonna go in with this XXact eyeliner. This is their like gel pencil liner, and I got mine in the shade Chestnut, which is like their brown one. I mean, it's not the worst eyeliner ever, it's not the best eyeliner ever. Definitely could have like skipped out on it, but it's fine. Now I'm gonna go in with the first two shades that we used in our crease on my lower lash line. And I'm gonna apply that fourth color, that really bright one, in the inner corner. And then lastly, I'm going to finish up with the lips, and I didn't get any of their liquid lipsticks just because I really don't tend to wear liquid lipstick, so I didn't want to buy something that I wasn't going to get a lot of use out of. But I did get this gloss in the shade Ticket. I thought it was going to be more of a nude gloss than it is, but it's fine. Let me line my lips really quickly and then we'll see. Yeah, it's definitely not the shade that I would use for this look per se. As far as the formula, it is like a little bit thicker. It's not like super sticky or too thick, but it is like a little bit on like the thicker side. But it's nice and smooth though. Like if it was a better color, like a more nude color, I think I would like it more just for my personal preference, but it's not bad by any means. But I don't like the way it looks with this look. Alright, so this is the final look. This is how everything turned out. It's not the worst thing in the world. I definitely think that the base could use some help. I think we finessed it as much as we could with the products that we had, but I think that if I actually had like the right shades, I would definitely probably like it a lot more. I really like that concealer. I wish there was just a little bit more of like a brightening effect to it, but again, the shade matching online is a struggle, so that's more my fault than anything. But I think the products themselves are really good. You know, I feel like I would pass on the eyeshadows. I feel like it's nothing, like if you really liked eyeshadows and you really wanted them, I think definitely go for it. They're not bad by any means, but it's nothing that's gonna blow your socks off, and it was nothing that was like super innovative, so I would probably have like passed on it if it wasn't for me wanting to do like a full face. I would have just passed. The lip gloss, it's not my favorite, it's not the best. I don't see myself reaching for it all the time, so that's probably something I would have passed on. The brow setter gel, it's okay. I prefer my Benefit one over top of it. The packaging is really cute, but I just don't feel like it's really gonna set my brows like really well. It just seemed like a little bit too like watery. It didn't seem like it really like set like that much, you know, but not bad by any means. I did like the eyebrow pencil. I definitely would recommend that. The liner I would skip. It's nothing crazy, super pigmented. I feel like I have other liners that I would probably reach for over it. If I had to choose like 2 standout products, it would probably be the bronzer and the blushes. Those would probably be like my top faves. I think those performed really, really nicely. The highlighter is really pretty, especially if you like a blinding, like in your face kind of highlight, but also just make sure you get the right shade, because I feel like it was just a little bit too dark for my skin tone right now. And the primers I really like. So as a whole, I feel like I kind of have some mixed emotions about the brand. There were some hits, there were some misses. Nothing was like terrible, don't need to get, but I just feel like it wasn't anything you need to go out and run and buy because it's a new brand and it's like so innovative and crazy. I feel like you probably have a lot of these things in your collection already that are good alternatives to them, so you don't need to run out and buy it from this brand. So yeah, that's my opinion. Overall, I think it's a pretty decent brand. Nothing was terrible, but nothing really stood out to me that I was like, oh my gosh, like if I didn't have it, I would need to go out and buy it right now. So hopefully that helped. Let me know down below if you guys have tried anything from this brand and what your thoughts and opinions are on it. And yeah, thank you guys so much for watching this video. Definitely give it a thumbs up if you liked it. Make sure to subscribe to my channel for more video and content coming from me soon. And just thank you guys so much for being here with me and watching this video. I know you could literally be anywhere else online and you're watching my video, so I really appreciate that, and I do appreciate it. I don't know, like I'm just really thankful for you guys to be here on my channel and subscribing. I've gotten a lot of subscribers lately, so hello, thank you guys for subscribing and liking my content. Hopefully I can deliver the same stuff that you guys have been liking. And yeah, thank you guys so much. Hopefully you're having a fantastic day, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.